Hey, what's up guys? It's been a long time since I've made a video about the physical media I have recently bought, so that's what I'm doing in this video. All of these movies I've purchased this month. Some of them I watched already, and some are still on the watch list and for future videos. I'm going to try to do these update videos at least once a month, but that also depends on how much movies I bought in that period. Let's start off with a couple of VHS movies I bought at a thrift shop. I was surprised to see these here, because where I live, most thrift shops just throw away all the VHS tapes they get in. Most of the movies I had never heard of before, like The Awakening, which is an early 80s horror movie about a mummy trying to destroy mankind, and Ghost Rig from the early 2000s, which title basically already explains what the movie is about. There were 3 tapes I was really happy to find and didn't expect to encounter them here. First of all, The Ninth Gate starring Johnny Depp, which I've already seen a few years ago. The movie is about Johnny's character on the hunt for the last 2 copies of a text, which can be used to summon the devil. I don't remember too much of the movie, but I do know the end stuck with me after all that time, so I can't wait to rewatch this on VHS soon. The second gem I found was a copy of Tank Girl on VHS. I've heard about this movie, but I've never actually seen it, so this one is going high on my watch list. Tank Girl is about, surprise, a girl riding a war tank in a dystopian world, fighting all kind of enemies of a mega corporation that is taking hold of the last remaining water supply on Earth. It's supposed to be a parody / dark comedy, so I'm really looking forward to check it out. The last tape might come as a surprise, because it might be the only romantic comedy I own in my collection, and that is She's All That. I had to take it home with me, because some of the cast members playing in it. The movie is starring Matthew Lillard, one of my favorite actors of all time. Freddie Prinze Jr., Paul Walker, and even freaking Usher.
What's this?
I never watch rom-coms, but this movie looks really promising, so I think I have to give it a shot. Next up, the DVDs I bought last month. The first movie I kind of bought as a joke because it looks so dumb, but I had to buy it and find out if it's actually that bad. It's called Aquarium of the Dead, which doesn't leave much mystery on what the plot of the movie will be. Looking at the back of the cover, it didn't really get any better, but this is more of a movie I'm just gonna put on while doing something else, and who knows, it might actually be decent. But probably not. I also bought the movie The Demon Disorder a while back and keep delaying to watch it, because I've heard it's actually not that bad, but other movies keep kicking it down my watch list. It's supposed to be an Australian B horror movie released in 2024, about some family secret involving their dead father who had all kinds of things going on in his garage, or something like that. Sounds like a pretty generic plot, but I've seen some reviews stating it's actually worth your time watching. Let me know if you've seen this movie, and what you thought about it if you did. When I saw this next movie in the store, I had to buy it, seeing it stars Halle Berry. This paranormal horror movie is about a family being haunted by an evil spirit for years. They throw themselves in great danger when one of the kids starts to doubt if the evil is real. That's all I know, and I want to go into the movie as blind as possible for my first watch. I haven't checked any reviews, so I hope it will not disappoint. I might do a review on this in the future as well, so keep an eye out for that.
Say it.
Never let go.
Maybe the word's still out there.
The last DVD I bought was a weird one. I watched it the same day I bought it, as it only had positive reviews on IMDb. Eyes of Fire is a folk horror / Western drama from 1983. We follow this big group which is chased out of town, and they end up in this big, isolated forest where even the locals don't dare to go. What the group doesn't know is that the forest is haunted by the spirits of French colonists controlled by evil. Let me start off by saying, I didn't get it. This was such a strange movie which kept cutting from scene to scene without really making clear what was actually going on. The special effects weren't bad, but dated for sure. Since it was hard to follow, it was even harder to concentrate on what the hell was even going on. It was very slow paced as well, which didn't help at all. Long story short, this movie wasn't for me and I won't be rewatching it anytime soon. I bought a couple of Arrow Video Blu Rays as well. 5 to be exact. I've been looking for a copy of Rawhead Rex for so long now, but I could just never find a physical copy where I live. I finally decided to break the bank and buy it brand new. While I was shopping anyway, I decided to look at what other Arrow Blu-rays were there, and I bought Life Force, Society, Videodrome, and Nightbreed. The only one I've watched so far is Society, and my god, was that an experience. Where I bought the movie, the guy behind the counter kept telling me this movie was absolutely batshit crazy, and he wasn't exaggerating for sure. I don't want to spoil anything, and please go blind into this movie if you can, because this movie has such a freaky twist, some very over-the-top body horror, and the best use of the word butthead I have ever seen.
Well, son, I guess you're right. I am a butthead.
Speaking of body horror, both Nightbreed and Videodrome are directed by the master of body horror, David Cronenberg. I haven't seen either of these, which I'm a little ashamed of. Especially Nightbreed, as this movie is written by the amazing Clive Barker as well. These two movies are definitely going high on my to-watch list. Last but not least, the Blu-rays I bought this month. Starting off with two movies I have seen already, but I wanted to buy just to add them to my physical collection. Even though it wasn't great, and that's a mild statement, I had to buy Insidious, The Red Door, to complete my Insidious collection on Blu-ray. I didn't think it was that horrible. I mean, it was watchable and all that, but it was just really long, and nothing new really got added to the story of the first two movies we know. Spoiler alert, I did like that they added Elise in the ending of the movie, but apart from that, nothing to write home about. The other movie I have seen already is Pooh, Blood and Honey. Was this movie bad? Yes. Did I love watching it? Even bigger, yes. Let's not forget this movie was on a budget of only $100,000 US. Of course, with that money, no one was expecting a masterpiece. But in my opinion, we got a creative and fun B-horror movie with some very entertaining kills and some questionable looking adaptations of the Winnie the Pooh characters we all know and love. Nonetheless, I'm happy to add this to my collection. A movie I was looking out for a while finally managed to pop up at a secondhand store. The Turning, starring Finn Wolfhard and Mackenzie Davis, is a movie I saw pop up a lot when it came out, and the trailer actually looked decent. I saw a lot of reviews though saying it was horrible, so I wanted to find out myself. This movie is only 1.5 hours long, but even though the beginning was entertaining enough to grab my attention, after 45 minutes I got so bored I turned it off, which doesn't happen often to me. I might watch the rest of the movie sometime in the future, but I think that day won't come soon. Next up, I found a strange-looking monster movie from the 70s called Spawn of the Slithis. On the back of the Blu-ray, it shows pictures of this monster, and I thought it looked so stupid, I just couldn't leave it for $5. The plot isn't too special. It's basically about this mutant sea monster, who's out for every living thing it encounters, even animals. I don't plan on prioritizing this movie, but maybe for a rainy day when I have nothing better to do. And the last movie I found is quite a familiar one, by the name of Let the Right One In. Surprisingly, I've never watched this movie. I don't know why, but I guess the plot just doesn't really speak to me, even though I've heard it's really, really good. If you've seen this 2008 vampire flick, be sure to let me know how you liked it, and if you would recommend it. I might just give it a go if your opinions are positive as well. And that's all the movies I bought so far this month. I have a bunch of reviews coming up for you guys in the near future, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. And I also am expecting a big package from Arrow Video with some more physical media, which of course I will be showing to you guys in another video. That's all for now. Have a great rest of your day.